Do you have a child who is being bullied? Most parents cannot answer that question accurately because most bullied children don't talk about it, from embarrassment, from fear, and more. So let me ask this in another way. Do you have a child who is reluctant to go to school or certain other functions, but isn't quite clear about why? Who also lacks self-confidence? Who often has unexplained physical symptoms, often associated with the morning before school? Who just looks overall afraid of life? If so, it is highly likely that your child is being bullied, usually at school, but maybe elsewhere. This is no small matter. It is estimated that about half of kids in the range of 9 to 15 are bullied regularly. It is known that on any given day, 1 out of 5 kids who miss school that day are absent, not because of sickness or appointment somewhere, but because of their terror of being bullied. That's epidemic. Such children feel small and insignificant and incapable of trying new things and unable to have friends. This can become crippling, not just in childhood, but by establishing a pattern of fear that continues throughout life. These kids have a greater risk, significantly greater risk, of no friends, loneliness, anxiety, aggressive tendencies themselves, poor self-esteem, depression, suicide, lower academic achievement, and underdevelopment of their careers. That's pretty bad. And again, most parents are unaware of the bullying. If you are aware, oh, how you want to be able to help your child. But you just don't know how. I'm here to tell you that there is a solution. And we're not talking about minimizing the problem. That's not nearly enough. We're talking about eliminating it. Welcome to the answers you've been hoping for. For a long time now, you've been looking for ways to help your child, and I greatly admire what you're doing right now. You're looking for answers. You're trying to love your child better, which is way more than most parents do. And finally, you're in the right place. It's like you've been paddling around in the middle of the ocean, desperately looking for help, and now, almost unbelievably, it's here. This is the ship you've been looking for. Now, how could I possibly make such a bold promise? Because I know how to teach parents how to help their children talk about the bullying and to find solutions. Solutions in the parents, in the world, and in the strength of the child. What I teach has been used by uncounted thousands of parents, and it works consistently. I'm not trying to sell you here on something we're going to do. You don't have to wait. The training begins right now, so you can see what it's like. In the next few seconds, I'll be teaching you things about your children and yourselves that you've never known. What a relief to know that right now you're exactly where you've wanted to be. You can learn what you need to learn. Finally, you can feel encouraged. You can feel hope. You can help your child, and I'm going to help you do that. You wouldn't be here unless 2 things were true. You have a child being bullied, or who you suspect might be, and 2, you care enough to do something about it. I know you've tried to change things. You've encouraged your child. You've talked to teachers, whatever you can think of. But your child's fear continues, as does the bullying. And you're frustrated and exhausted. You've been looking for something that works, and here it is. Principles that have proven to work hundreds of thousands of times all over the world. If parents are thoroughly committed to learning and practicing what I'm going to share with you, predictably, I see children stop being bullied. Stop being afraid, which is more important. The fear just goes away. And instead, they become happy. Even after everything else has failed, you become pretty happy too. It is not hopeless. I'm here to help you. And I'll be using the insight and experience of counseling with thousands of parents, and from writing 20 books and endless articles on the subject, as well as appearing on 1,600 radio and television shows and parenting seminars all around the world, and much more. You are about to change the world around you. And finally, you don't have to do it alone, which is miserable and frustrating. You've already proven that with your own experience. So now the question that has to be on your mind: what am I going to teach you that you don't already know? What am I going to say that you haven't already read or heard somewhere? This is going to be revolutionary for you. So slow down your brain and listen with your soul. What does a child need more than anything else? After food, water, and air, the answer is really obvious, and yet we keep missing it over and over. To see the answer, which intuitively you already know, to see it more clearly, let's start with an infant. When an infant cries, other than from obvious physical pain, what does he want? You already know because you just pick him up. You're pretty smart. You already know that every child wants to feel cared for. Every child wants to feel loved. Picking them up and holding them is just a demonstration of that. And if you're genuine in caring about them, they feel it. But infants are relatively easy to love. Oh, they smile and melt your heart and make cute little noises and laugh in ways we never hear anywhere else. They're adorable. But then they get older. They learn to spill things, make messes, ferociously say no when you tell them what to do, scream in their car seat, fight with their siblings, refuse to listen to you, get in trouble in more ways than you could possibly have predicted, say ugly and hateful things to you and other people, and they become afraid. And they lack in confidence. They get a lot harder to get close to and love. And when that happens, we really don't know what to do. Usually we try to control their behavior or the behavior of the bully. And we might even temporarily succeed, but it doesn't last. And we end up with kids who are still intimidated and afraid and easy to intimidate. We're not so happy either. Let me say this another way. If our children become more difficult to love as their behavior changes, that proves we don't know how to love them unconditionally. If we did love them unconditionally, we'd love them no matter what. But if loving becomes more difficult when they withdraw in fear, for example, or resist us, our love is conditional. Unconditional love, or what I call real love, means caring about another person without wanting anything from them in return. But we do expect something in return for the love we give them. Respect, cooperation, gratitude, and reasonable behavior, including some ability to talk about and deal with their fears and with the bullying of others. Now, more about unconditional love. That kind of love would mean that our love would not be affected by what they do. That's what unconditional love means. But we really don't know how to do that. How do I know? We prove it every time we become angry or disappointed or impatient or irritated at them. Our disappointment and irritation and frustration are undeniable proof that our love is not unconditional. Deep inside, you know that what I'm saying is true. But let me demonstrate further. When other people are angry at you, do you like it? No, you don't. Not ever. Nobody does. When other people are angry at us, or when we're angry at other people, we're all saying, look at what you did to me, or failed to do for me. When we're angry, we are so focused on ourselves. Me, me, me. And in that moment, other people, notably our children, hear only 4 words. I don't love you. When we're angry, we're far too occupied with ourselves to unconditionally love anybody. I repeat, when we are angry at another person, including our child, they hear only, "I don't love you." I promise you that this is true. No, we don't mean to say that, but what else could people hear while our words, tone, and behavior are screaming, "Me, me, me"? "I don't love you" is what you feel and hear when people are angry at you. Think about that, honestly. And it's what our children hear and feel when we're angry at them. Again, we do not mean to do this. We do not mean to hurt our children. Ridiculous. But it was inevitable because we were not loved unconditionally, which means being consistently loved without disappointment or anger, freely, no conditions. So how could we possibly have learned how to unconditionally love our own children? Impossible. Nobody is to blame. Our ignorance of real love simply perpetuated over generations. We don't know how to love unconditionally because we've never seen it or felt it with any consistency. For emphasis, I'm going to say all of this in a slightly different way. When children behave in fear, when they have no confidence, it is almost always a reaction to them not feeling loved unconditionally. Loved with no disappointment, irritation, frustration, or anger. Children who don't feel loved feel empty and fearful, and they are visible targets for bullies. Now, this could sound discouraging, even bleak. Overall, it is bleak. Look at the world, at the utter obsession with things that are distractions from our pain, from our not feeling loved, like endless entertainment, addiction to electronics, anger, controlling people, drugs, alcohol, sex, and on and on. There is the proof that overall we do not know how to love people unconditionally. If we did, and I speak here with vast experience, all of these behaviors, including bullying, would not exist. I've been teaching unconditional love now for so many years to so many parents that I can tell you this with complete certainty. When a child truly feels loved unconditionally, he or she does not lack for confidence. They're not fearful. They lose that target on their forehead that attracts bullies. Instead, they become happy and responsible and confident and all those qualities you wish they had. With sufficient love, bullying cannot continue. Happy people don't allow it to continue. They do something about it, period, full stop. So that is what I'll be teaching you. How to love your child unconditionally, which then gives them a reason to listen to you, well, and to talk to you. How many times have you wondered why a child isn't hearing what you're saying? How come that child never listens or never talks to me? There's an answer, and here it is. Because when you're irritated, your child hears only, "I don't love you." And that is so devastating that he or she hears none of the rest of the content of what you say. If you love them unconditionally, they can hear you, what you're really saying, because they're not distracted by their fear, not blinded and deafened by the "I don't love you" message. Then it becomes possible for you to teach them anything, like how to be loving and responsible themselves. And if they have that powerful trifecta, if they feel loved and they are loving and responsible, they are guaranteed to be happy, which is the ultimate goal for any parent or, frankly, any person. Your children can learn that being happy and confident is a natural result of feeling loved. And then with your help, the bullying will stop. Take my hand and we'll talk about what you can do and how I will support you. It will almost be like starting over as a parent. You're going to learn how to be a real parent, and your child will learn the lessons of life that will benefit him or her for the rest of their lives. If you implement what you learn here, and if you do it consistently, you simply will not believe the differences you will see in your child and in you and in your family. Imagine it. No more missing school, no more mysterious physical symptoms, no more obvious fears of being around certain people and social situations, no more tension in the family. It's astonishing to see and to feel. Our children are not defective. They're not bad. We're not bad. We just have not known how to love and teach them. What we're doing with our kids is not working. That's obvious. Loving and teaching them does. Rarely is it too late to change whatever unproductive behaviors you're dealing with. Not if you're really willing to learn and to apply these principles to the interactions with your child. I can promise you, learning how to be a parent, a real parent, is worth it. We're about to learn how to eliminate the behaviors in your children that are hurting them and making you crazy. Really. I make you another promise. Learning to be a loving, effective parent is easier than everything else you've done as a parent so far. We're really going to get into this. This is not a casual effort. We're not looking to make your children more manageable. That's not even close to being enough. Our mission is to help you become a powerful and effective parent, and to help your child feel loved and to be loving, responsible, and genuinely happy. In that environment, bullying is impossible. It's a transformation. If you are truly committed to learning how to parent, I'm fully committed to teach you, and I will bring resources to the table you never thought about. The rewards are spectacular, as we've seen in uncounted thousands of families. There is not a single thing you will ever do that will ring through the ages more powerfully than being a loving and effective parent. You can do this. So let's learn some more. Let's get started. Click the button below. It's free to begin transforming your life as a ridiculously effective parent.